When you ask most people what they think of New Mexico, it's usually something negative from an experience they had in Albuquerque, but I know this state has much more to offer. With 21 million acres of seemingly unrestricted public lands, you can find an adventure almost anywhere, and unlike Arizona, the backcountry here is practically abandoned. This weekend's journey takes setting on a route I've been wanting to accomplish for a few years. A stretch of 160 miles of dirt cutting through the largest national forest in the state, and a route I'm going to tackle in a vehicle I have no experience driving, still brandishing temporary plates. So join us on another episode of the White Dog Overland Experience. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode. We are currently in Chloride, just outside of Chloride Canyon. Topped off, got some fuel over in Winston, just getting ready to drop into the canyon. Last night we camped out just a bit east of here towards Elephant Butte, kind of down in the desert flatland. It was getting hot, so we got out of there pretty quick. Bailey was supposed to be joining us last night, but he blew a wheel bearing on the way out, so he's currently in Deming. So we're gonna wait for him up the canyon here, go find a camp spot. This canyon allegedly has been repaired over the last 6 months. It was pretty bad. The last time we were up here, it was almost impassable for the tundra. And I've got a new little car over there, and I'm really not certain if I can make it through, so we're gonna see what we get into, see how the road condition is, and if not, there's a big loop that takes me up through like the Black Hills and then back down into Chloride, and I can kind of bypass all the rough stuff. So we'll see what we get into and see if we can get this new car through. In the early 1880s, the first silver claim was filed by Henry Pye, and over the next 10 years, the population would grow to 2,000 in the town of Chloride. The original buildings still stand in place, including a saloon and the post office. Chloride Canyon and the surrounding areas have endless stories of engagements between Apaches and cavalry, and remnants of tribes who resided here 500 years prior to modern tribes. In 1863, a band of Chihenne Apaches led a raid on Geronimo Springs, sparking a conflict involving the legendary Kit Carson retaliating against the tribes in the region. In 1879, in the northern stretch of the Black Range, the Warm Springs Apache, led by the Great Victorio, raided a Buffalo Soldiers camp, killing 5 soldiers and stealing their supplies. Cavalry retaliation led to a complete failure, as a trap was set in the narrow canyons. Cavalry was pinned down for a full day, and it's speculated over 25 were killed. By the next day, in Apache fashion, Victorio's band had vanished into the rugged range. Victorio was born near Monticello, in the eastern side of the Black Range, a fearsome warrior who even Kit Carson's legion of soldiers could not compete with. In the 1870s, the military made multiple attempts to relocate him to the San Carlos Reservation, but Victorio would make many escapes, sparking a conflict known as the Victorio's Wars, and eventually he was killed in Mexico. Buffalo Soldiers were the front lines of American troops in the Gila region of the southwestern portion of New Mexico. Even with strength in numbers, their adversaries such as Geronimo and Mangus Coloradus proved to be an intolerable opposition. That being said, without the minority group of American cavalry, the West would have never been conquered, and their accolades should never be forgotten. I have to say, so far, I'm utterly impressed with this car. I mean, I haven't really done anything too crazy in it yet, but I'm hoping this little Lookout Mountain trail has a bit more technical to it. This road, this Chloride Canyon road, used to be rough. I mean, it was rough on the tundra back in the day, but now it's, you know, just pretty graded. But this car is really cool. It's probably hard to see with the LED blinking, but it shows how much power is being transferred to each differential, and You can see that it's in rock and dirt mode, and that just adjusts power accordingly. It's like how a lot of these new all-wheel drive systems are. They don't have low gear, but they do accentuate each wheel with different power where it's lost. I don't really understand how it works. There's so much technology to this. I know I've kind of bashed newer vehicles. I needed to get something new. I'll explain why later, but I'm in love with this car so far. It's doing really well. This is like the perfect trip for it. I just got it last week and I was like, heck, you know, the Gila's pretty chill, so I guess we'll see how she does. We got invited up to the top. Wow. Whew.
We have another lookout, not on the close one, and the one in the middle of the...
Very nice view.
That way, this is us. This is Black Mountain over that way. And then
Okay.
I think this is Mogollon Baldy.
Yep.
Not sure.
The other two don't ever affect us.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, this is the one over
Cibola.
that direction. Yeah.
This is all Cibola. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
But yeah, they're doing a fire up in that area too.
Okay. Yeah, I saw a few on the map.
Were you here yesterday at all? In, I don't know. Let me pick something out. But,
Well, you could just do Round Mountain.
okay, yeah. See the mountain, the nice singular mountain?
Yeah, the knob out there.
It's about 8 miles out or so. Okay. What you do is you just line this up. So there's crosshairs here made out of horsehair.
Huh.
Line it up with this. And
Am I in the way?
no. If you look through there, you can see that it cuts, that vertical line cuts right through the middle of that mountain.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't do a damn thing for you, except tell you if there's a fire right there, that tells you there's a fire somewhere on that line
Interesting.
for infinity.
Gotcha.
Huh.
Okay? So somewhere out there on that line, there's a fire.
Yeah.
And the way you pinpoint it is you have to go to this map. You get your degree azimuth right here. There's a scale going along here. You get your azimuth here. And what is it right off the top here?
Oh God, is this dog coming up here?
230.
She made it
coming
this
up.
Way. Yeah. She made it up the 2 bites.
Dog, you're crazy. Are you gonna come up?
These aren't the wooden, so they might be a little
Oh,
harder on
yeah.
their feet, but
You just stay there. She is a climber.
yeah.
She just can't stand to be away.
Do the best you can because it's a thick string. But so there's a fire out here somewhere. And the way we pinpoint it exactly is to call another tower. So we'd call the tower here, we could call the tower here. They would sight it in. And then where their site crosses with ours, that tells you where the fire is.
Oh, okay.
We give them it's called a legal location, so we give them township range and section.
She's weird with people. She letting you pet her?
A little bit.
Yeah. I don't think many dogs have been in the lookout tower.
Yeah.
All right, so we're back on the road. We spent honestly like an hour and a half talking to the two people manning this fire watch tower. Love doing that. I don't know why. I just love stopping in, and they always have really good insight on these areas, and they're just full of conversation because they're out here by themselves and they just love seeing people most of the time. Most of them are out here to get away from us, but so we had some really good conversations, really nice people, like I said. So now we are headed back down off of this overlook. We're gonna go get camp set up somewhere down in Chloride Canyon, try to escape this wind because it's picking up, and I need a sandwich, I need food. We need to get this done ASAP because I am getting hangry. So we'll maybe see you at camp. Brian, I'm guessing no. The last two times I've tried this route, it was either under a few feet of snow or blocked by fire. 160 miles of endless dirt roads starting in a rugged canyon at 5,000 feet up to mountain passes at 10,000 feet, where other travelers are few and far between. Over 4 days, we only saw a few adventure bikers along the route, which is common as it's part of Section 4 of the New Mexico Backcountry Discovery Route. This is the place to go if you want a little bit of everything this state has to offer, and especially if you want to feel the true emotion of what backcountry travel feels like, something I've only been able to really get the true nature of in New Mexico. The Gila Wilderness was split in two in the 1970s. Now, the Gila and the Aldo Leopold Wilderness, named after the man who made it his life mission to explore the area and work his best to conserve the land in its natural state. When he first arrived here in the early 1900s, wolves and grizzly bears roamed endlessly. On June 3, 1924, 755,000 acres of the Gila was named America's first wilderness designation, starting a chain of conservatory legislation all over the nation, preserving the land from human intervention. If you want to thank anyone for going out of their way to keep these sacred places intact, you can thank Aldo Leopold and Henry Woodrow for their historical acts of American conservation. So you may or may not be wondering why I got this new fancy car in a crossover of everything. It's basically a Subaru with a different badge. But ever since I bought the first Rav, my first gen Rav, I've just kind of been infatuated by this platform. I love that thing absolutely dearly. I do not want to get rid of it. It is currently for sale if you want to buy it. There's just something about it that was just so fun, but it's to the point in my career, I'm changing occupations. I need to roll up in something that looks a little bit better on me. Oh, check out this downhill. If you watched my first ever Gila video from like 2.5 years ago, you'd know I got stuck on that hill climb on the way out of here in like 3 feet of snow. That was a good time. But back to the Rav conversation. Like I said, I had a change in occupation, so I need something a bit more professional. Yeah, that was the hill there. I can't be starting this new job and looking like I'm pulling up in my first car as a 16-year-old. I need something more professional. And then you might ask, why didn't you get a 4Runner or a Tacoma or something? And I purely made this decision. Ooh, that's a lot of dust. Purely made this decision on fuel mileage. These Ravs get like 33 on the highway. I've been averaging on this dirt trip about 18, which is like 3 times as good as the Tundra. So probably driven roughly 75 miles. I've only burnt a quarter tank, so that is pretty good. I can't complain there. And I really just don't need another expensive build. If I went with a 4Runner or something, my wife already has one, I'd be throwing way too much money in it. So this thing is perfect. I'm going to keep it reasonable, minimalistic, kind of my soft-roading, quick setup for, you know, trails like this that don't require really a whole lot of four-wheel drive. I've put this thing, it's been in the rock and dirt mode for a while, and it's handling everything really nice. I mean, I am beyond impressed with this car. So we're approaching Snow Lake here shortly. We're gonna make a bite to eat and then go find camp.
A similar material spec here in the U.S.
What's it called?
Sure. I think it's like just a ripstop canvas.
What's the tank called?
Jolly Swagman.
Like, that'd be sweet, yeah.
We began our ascent up towards the Gila headwaters at around 10,000 feet, a location that has long been in speculation as Geronimo's birthplace, something that will never be known as Apaches kept their places of birth sacred, similar to their burial grounds, a place where they can return to meditate and receive strength. Goyakla was his birth name, born to a tribe that spread out between the Gila and Mogollon Mountains. In 1858, his wife, mother, and 3 children were killed near Casa Grandes in the southern Mogollon Mountains by Mexican troops. His vengeance would become the burning fire behind the existence of the Chiricahua Apaches over the next 30 years, and the Apache Wars would ensue upon this portion of New Mexico and over into Arizona. His journey throughout this area was eventually named the Geronimo Trail in the 1930s, the trail we would have stayed on since our departure out of Truth or Consequences. I had a feeling that this portion of the Gila Divide may prove to be a challenge to pass. This area was scorched by the Whitewater Baldy Fire in 2012, and even though some portions had been cleared in the past, it was evident that this trail had not been used for quite some time. Around every corner was a downed tree blocking our path, nothing a winch and a chainsaw can't remove, and we were determined to stay on course with this route, so clearing the road was our only option.
Hold it together. Huh. Let's see. Oh no, first time.
Oh, we just put another one across the road.
Nice!
Oh yeah. Tucker, come here, buddy.
Not bad.
Just cutting the path back through Chloride. This marks the end of a route that I've been wanting to do for a couple of years now. The whole Gila divide with no bypasses. Staying on the actual route is a lot more challenging than taking the 59 and cutting through some of these bypass trails. 168 some miles of dirt. I mean, it's an impressive stretch of land out here, and I've been itching to do the whole thing on course, and we finally got it done. It took us 3 days, but we're here. So the actual Chloride Canyon, not that bad anymore. Pretty graded through. If you stay up north, it's fairly challenging, a little washed out, but that final stretch from like Snow Lake, that single track up through the mountains where we hit those snow drifts, any other truck, you know, like what else is with us in company this weekend, does it just fine. And I would say it was a pretty solid maiden voyage for this old car. So we are heading up right now. We're gonna get some gas, and then we're gonna take you to one bonus camp spot down near Little Creek where we can dip our toes in and enjoy the rest of the day. So we'll see you in a bit. That's not bad right here at all. How far is that hot spring?